and that allows emails to come from the printer to the users in your organizations. So those are one of the ways connectors can be used. So I just wanted to bring that out. So few ways you can use connectors when you are trying to do a partnership between one M365 tenant and another M365 tenant. You can also use connectors. You can set up connectors between organization that is still using hybrid, that is Exchange server and Exchange Online. There's a need for you to set up connectors on both ends where you are going to enter your server address, and that is the only way your users that are still using Exchange server can communicate with users that are on in cloud, as we say it, Exchange Online. So those are the situations you use connectors. And again, I also mentioned that you can use connectors when you are trying to send emails through third-party services. And I gave example as Barracuda and the likes. So it is, I think we have enough examples where we use connectors. So when you are being asked, oh, at what point do you need connectors in Exchange Admin Portal or Exchange Admin Center, you have a lot of examples. So, and they will know you actually know what you are doing. So that is just a recap. And we also explain why message trace is important. It allows you to monitor email, why emails is going to spam, junk, quarantine, and why phishing email came through, also what you need to do, understanding spam confidence level, bulk confidence level. Once the spam level is 5, it will definitely go to junk, and you need to understand reasons why it is going to junk. Um, we also spoke about tools that you can use to analyze IP domain if they are being blacklisted, MS2 box. So I'm just doing a quick recap. Also, we spoke about transport rules and how these rules can actually, what you can make use of these rules, putting things in place, creating blind copy, restricting users from sending emails, restricting users from forwarding emails. Rules can be a lot of things. So we spoke about that. You can also use transport rules to create appending emails, disclaimers. You can use transport rules to append logos, if you know, if you have a bit understanding of HTML, because that is the only way you can use to create the rule. You can use it to append email signature and all of that. We spoke about remote domains, and where this is where you can create instructions that override whatever the user is creating. Instructions like automatic reply, out of office reply, and all of that. If you want to ensure that your out of office is uniform, this is where you come in and create them. Basically, when you see remote domains, it is talking about automatic replies, out of office reply, external, internals, and all of that. So please have it at the back of your mind. Accepted domains. So this is where you see different domain type: authoritative, relay, and all of that. Authoritative domain is whoever has that domain name have full authority to send emails, receive emails, and some other functions. And I showed you guys in the M365 admin portal under settings domain how domains are made native, your DNS records and everything have to be fully set up. So please have that at the back of your mind. So we discussed about alert, how you can configure different alert policy, what you want alert for uh, in your organization. So this is just a recap. It's always good to go through all of this again, so that we can refresh our minds and understand that we are all following. So we've covered majority of Exchange Admin Portal. I think today might be the last class. So let's just run through the rest. So roles. So like the same way you assign roles in Azure Admin Portal, you can also assign roles in Exchange admin portal, and roles is just different type of roles you can assign to users. So in your exam, one of the exam, there are some questions that will come that they are
Hello,
going to
sir.
give
Hello.
you.
Sorry, sir. Mr. Michael. Sorry, your screen is too tiny, please. Can you expand it a little? It's too tiny.
Okay, sorry, it's my eyes. Oh, that is why I used to. Okay, can you guys see it?
Yes, better now. Thank you.
It's not
Okay.
better. It's not better.
Ah,
It's still very tiny.
It was
Mr.
better than earlier now.
The font is very. Can
Better
you
than
increase
earlier,
the font?
actually.
Like
It is
this,
better than earlier.
Mr.
Are you sure?
Adeboye, are you sure you're not wearing glasses?
Abioyi,
You know, me self, I'm
I'm
using.
wearing glasses.
Me self, I'm using
Wait, you
glasses
can
too.
still increase it.
If if it's bigger than
Okay,
this, it's a concern to me
this is
too.
this. Okay,
Oh,
yes,
okay,
this is
it's
okay.
okay now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So anyway, so we can have different admin roles. So I was saying something earlier. I was trying to tell you that in your exam, your certification exam, there are different scenarios they will bring up, and they'll say, what is the role you will be assigned that you assign to this user? In code, they will not say least privileged role, least privileged role, because when you are assigning roles in your organization, it is also important that you assign least privileged role. For instance, not everybody in your organization should have. Imagine you create your tenant, and every user you create, you are assigning global administrator role. Obviously, if one person do nonsense or go there and tick or toggle anything, it's going to affect everybody. Mind you, the same treatment you give, if you work with servers, the same treatment you give your servers, you know, is the same treatment you give your admin portal. Forget that it's a portal, it's also a server that is being managed. Let's have that at the back of our mind. And obviously, if you have a server in your organization, not everybody has admin right to log into that server, because there's what we call production server. If you are actually going to this coding, when you are deploying an application, there's what we call production server. Once the production server goes live, nobody mess with it. You don't go in there and change any code at that point. So we have a test environment to test your coding before pushing into the production server. The moment you push your code into the production server, automatically you need to be extra careful. Same thing applies assigning roles in M365. So you need to understand, for instance, if you want people to, if you want a user to still be able to view everything that has to globally in your M365 tenant, and you don't want that person to make any change, there's a role that we called global reader. Global reader have similar permissions rights like global administrator. However, it can't make any change. It can view anything that a global administrator can view, but it can't make any change. So we have different rules. As you can see on the page, we have what we call communication compliance. So analyst of communication compliance that can investigate policy matches, view message content, and take remediation actions. So this person can actually do all of these functions, but is not a compliance administrator. A compliance administrator have more rights than a communication compliant. So all of these will have different functions, different actions. So, and the reason why this is happening is so that you can be able to monitor who does what. You can be able to assign, you can be able to delegate roles based on their pay grade. For instance, someone with help desk can view and manage configuration of individual recipients, can create users and all of that, but cannot do more than that. So we have different roles that, in fact, these roles can be assigned group based. You can create, you can add role group, and then, for instance, if you want IT, if you want to create, let me say, you want people to manage certain groups, you can create a group for that and give permission and give them the kind of rights they need to have access to. So please, as M365 administrator that you want to become, that you as a career path you want to pursue, you don't just give roles. You give roles based on pay grade. Let me use that language because that is what when you go to organization and you send certain email, you get replies like, "Oh, it's above my pay grade. Let me let me copy this person. Let me copy that person." So roles can also be assigned based on department. You understand? So we need to be able to understand the differences, guys. So you need to look into this. Security administrator, security. In fact, I'll give you this for free. There is there are a lot of questions regarding the differences between security administrator, security operator, security reader. Same way we have global administrator, global reader, and all of that. Guys, you can take out your time and read on this and understand the differences. It is very, very important. Thank you. So the next role is user roles. So this is just the normal roles you give to users. Maybe you want users to have access to certain apps and all of that. So allow users to manage end users permissions. So if you don't want users to have access to certain things on their Outlook web application, this is where you come in to restrict. If you look at this default assignment and if you look at manage, so this place users can view their contact information, their mobile information. So if you don't want users to view all of this, you can create another one and then you remove all of this. Users can view their own profile name, which is normal. Users can view distribution groups if they create any. Users can view the distribution group they are member of. And other app is my customer app, marketplace app. So when they log in on the web, there are some marketplace applications where you use a single sign-on to access, so users can see all of those marketplace application. Write mailbox, write mailbox application, and all of that. Their retention policy, their text messaging, their voicemail, and this one is the reason why if users can see who have access to their delegation, then what is the essence of giving people delegation to that mailbox? That is why it is unchecked. So only this will enable administrator to delegate mailbox permission. So users shouldn't have permission to that. Remember when we were talking about shared mailbox, we give access to some users, and you guys I show you guys how to access the shared mailbox on the web. So if users are able to give themselves access, so it doesn't make any sense. That is why this is not allowed. So guys, this is pretty much straightforward. um if you have any question, you can ask. But also Outlook web policies. So this is the policy or the permission you have for you to access Outlook on the web. For Outlook on the web is when you go to office.com, it open an interface just like it did here. I think I have Outlook. So this is basically what we refer to Outlook on the web. So Outlook web application or Outlook on the web. So when you log into outlook.office.com, please, if you are being asked what is the difference between Outlook client and Outlook on the web. I'm giving the differences now. Outlook on the web is when you go to outlook.office.com, opening your mailbox in a browser. Outlook client is using the Outlook application on your computer. When you install Office application, it comes with Outlook client application. So if I go to my screen here, I'm not sure you guys can see this. And type Outlook. If you guys have Office installed and you type Outlook in your search bar beside the Windows icon, you are going to see Outlook Classic and Outlook New. So when you are being asked, it is called Outlook Client. Outlook Client. Client means your PC. Outlook installed on your PC is called Outlook Client. Thank you. So we also have OWA mailbox policy. So what are the features and what, like I said earlier, so in situation you do not want text messaging or contact, or you don't want your mobile device, user's mobile device contact to sync um, to your Outlook web, this is where you toggle this. Exchange active sync. So let me explain this. The ability for you to use Outlook on your mobile phone, the ability or the function or the possibility of using Outlook on your mobile phone, there's a need, there's a need for you, there's a need, sorry, please give me a moment. Sorry about that. So Exchange Active Sync and all of these, you can see leading LinkedIn contact sync. If you go to some contact in your let me see. I want to check something. Okay. Can you guys hear me? So let me check an
Sure.
email. I want to show you how this works. So see. So can you see when I go to Ebuka for DK, you can see LinkedIn here. So this can be disabled from this page. So all of these are the rules. If you do not want users to create inbox rule in Outlook web application, you on toggle you check this off. If you don't want users to have access to notes, so this is what we mean by notes. If I come here, there's a option for me to see. It should be an option for notes right here. Okay, so I can also create notes. So if you want to disable this, we use that toggle. I'm just showing you guys so that you can understand that all of this is important. We covered deleted items. If you don't want this to be available, if I go to deleted items, you can see this option here. We cover deleted items from this folder. Once you click on it, so let me do a quick explanation on that. So once you delete an item from here, let me see if I can delete an item. Let me delete this. Once I go into my delete item folder, deleted items folder, I'm going to see the item here. Based on any rules that is configured in my organization, we can we can remove those items. However, if I delete the items here, it doesn't delete immediately. I should be able to see the item in it goes so that it Microsoft gives us time to recover certain items. Maybe they were deleted out of maybe it was a mistake, and it was the user did not know it was an important email. So any item in your recovered item folder takes can take up to 30 days depending on the configuration. So after 30 days, it gets deleted permanently. So you can see that I do not have the item in my deleted item folder. So I will go into recover deleted item folder, and then I can check this and click on restore. However, please note, the moment this folder is empty, even Microsoft cannot recover that item. I repeat, the moment the items in your recovered item folder is empty, Microsoft will not recover those items. Thank you. So yeah, I can come here and then do restore. Then it will restore back into my inbox. So this is what I deleted. Guys, do you understand? Can we proceed? So I explained no to cover deleted items. So if you don't want the option to be available for users in your organization on Outlook on the web, you come here and you disable this. However, if you check the Outlook client, it should be available for them. So if you don't want users to change their password, this is where on Outlook web application, this is where you disable this. So these are other features, whether email signature to be available in Outlook web application. So let me just show you guys. For email signature, we come into this gear icon at the top. Those features that I am that is available. If we come in here, compose and reply, can see all of these. You can compose. There's a place where we have signature under general settings. Let me see, appearance, notification. Yes. So can you see, if you don't want this to be available on Outlook web application, that is where you get them disabled. So all of these features and all of, so guys, I think with calendar tags, reminders, and notification, I do not want to touch any of these because of the tenants I'm making use of at the moment. So migration, this is a whole different conversation entirely. Um, Remember, guys, I've been speaking about hybrid. This is the Please, if you are using your mobile phone for the class, kindly zoom out, kindly pop out the sharing section and close the chat. It will, because now I'll have to be sliding to the left, to the right if I keep zooming out. Guys, if I keep zooming out. So migration, guys, this is where there are different type of migration. We have from migrating from Exchange Server to Exchange Online. You can also migrate from your Google Workspace to M365. So this is where you create migration batch. So you can see here, migrate to Exchange Online, migrate from Exchange Online. So migrate to Exchange Online is when you want to migrate from your Exchange Server or your Google Workspace. So this is where you create, let me see, let's see, we don't have an Exchange server yet, so we can't complete the migration, but this is where you create the migration, and there are different type of migration. There is what we call remote move migration, cutover migration, cross-tenant migration, Google Workspace migration, IMAP migration. IMAP migration is when you are migrating from those mailbox you create with your website, and they are considered to be IMAP when you are trying to migrate your Google Workspace to to M365 to M365. There's what we call cross tenant. So you are trying to migrate from two different from tenant A. Maybe Abraham create a company. For example, let's say company a good example is what we call takeovers. If company A take over company B, and company A wants everybody in company B to be under their organization instead of having two different tenants, we can do a cross tenant migration. So for this remote move and cutover, there are two ways of doing a remote move of a of migrating Exchange server to Exchange Online. You can do cutover and you can do remote move. Remote move is creating an address, I think .mail.microsoft.com. Then you create the user and then you map them together, and automatically it shows up as mail user, and you assign license and it shows up as user mailbox. I'm just giving you a brief understanding of how the migration works. So if you look at this option migrate the content of mailbox from an on-premise exchange, which we also know as Exchange server, to Exchange Online. You can migrate batches of mailbox until all mailboxes are migrated to the cloud. So if we use cutover, same thing. So if you look at this cross tenant, like I've explained, this option migrate content from mailboxes from one Exchange Online organization to another Exchange Online organization. You can migrate batches of mailbox. You can see even without me clicking all of this, I've done this multiple times, so it's easier for me to explain and tell you when you need to use any of this. So this is you for this Google workspace. There's what you need to create in the Google workspace environment that will allow you to create this migration successfully. So let me see that we have articles online that in Microsoft Learn. Exchange Online. So I'll be sharing the articles. So it will have been easy for us, but I do not have an Exchange server. So you can there are YouTube videos online that you can watch that will give you a good reach. So you can see. However, also one thing before you can pick whether you want to use um remote or cutover when you are migrating, there are certain conditions. So if you look at at what point you might be asked, at what point do you use cutover method? Look at the note here. Even if cutover migration support moving up to 2,000 mailboxes, due to the length of time it takes to create and migrate 2,000 users, it is more reasonable to migrate 150 users or fewer. So conditions matters. This condition matters when you want to pick the type of migration you want to carry out. So as an expert, you need to know, okay, you need to create what we call roadmap in your migration. You need to look at the prerequisites in when you decide is that if you are using remote or if you are using cutover. And Microsoft has given a good illustration, a good on how to complete the process. All you just have to do is to follow the process step by step. Do not omit anything, and then you get it right. So there should be remote. You can also stage your migration if you do not, if you know that most times my organization, whenever we want to do migration, we do it over the weekend, and we ensure that we determine the number of mailboxes. So we send communication ahead of time to our clients. We send communication ahead of time to our client that this weekend we'll be carrying out migration. So nobody will be working, nobody, because we don't want any loss of emails. Emails are very important, and if there is break in communication, your organization might be losing a lot of money. So guys, all these best practice is also important. So look at IMAP. When you want to migrate IMAP, as in internet message access protocol, maybe you are trying to, you can see even without opening the article, I've given you the best explanation. Administrator tags in the IMAP mail system. You have this IMAP mail system, mostly those email system integrated with websites, where you have 50 gig, and then you create a website, create a domain name and all of that, and then you are sending out emails. The mailbox sits within your web database or infrastructure. Yes, then this is how you migrate them. Sometimes you also do migration by PST. You get them into PST and all of that, and you migrate. So guys, you have all of this here. Please go through them. It is very, very much important. So let me check Google Workspace, performing a Google Workspace. Um, it has some as the prerequisite. So I mentioned earlier that you have to create what we call project. Yeah, you have to be assigned a project creator role, and you assign it to the Google Workspace with. This is very important. Without this is why majority of people get a lot of errors when they are trying to migrate from Google Workspace to M365. So this is quite important. So you have to create a subdomain for mail routing to M365. Same thing with subdomain with mail routing. Guys, let me share this for Google Workspace. All of this is pretty much straightforward. All you need to ensure is that you have the prerequisite and you have everything you need. You check your requirements, but I don't think people are actually using in this part of our world. I can tell you, not so many organizations are using Google Workspace. Not many. And I explained in the first class why that is happening, because that environment is rigid. Um, Before you can do a message trace in Google Workspace, you have to create something that looks like conditions and all of that. It's not pretty much straightforward. That is the difference between M365 and Google Workspace. Google Workspace professionally is a very rigid environment. I'm just letting you guys know. It's very rigid. So if you want to, for instance, for you to retain, if a user resigns in a Google Workspace environment, for you to retain the user mailbox, you have to ensure that you only disable the password, and then you only ensure the user cannot sign in, block signing. However, the moment you remove Google Workspace license, that mailbox get deleted. If you want to retain the mailbox and you still want to remove the license, you need to have a third party backup too. They automatically back up that mailbox. However, in M365, all you need to do is to convert that mailbox to a shared mailbox, and the items will be retained, and you can still access, and that mailbox can continue to receive emails. So I'm also telling you the differences. So we also have this is where the mobile is where you control everything that has to do with users having access to to company resources, to their Outlook emails, Teams on their mobile phone. You can set conditions, you can restrict devices. However, sorry, I'm using a lot of however. There are features that are now being put in place that doesn't warrant us using mobile device access in Exchange Admin Center. I want to ask, have anyone in this meeting heard about Intune? There's what we call Intune. Intune is Microsoft mobile device management technology. So you will realize that if you try to set up your, I don't, it might not apply to all of us here. So if you try to set up your company emails on your mobile phone, there is what we call company portal. The company portal is what will allow you to fully set up and access your company, your organization Teams and Outlook on your mobile phone. And the company portal comes with a lot of, in fact, some company portal creates a different profile on your mobile device. If I'm not wrong, yes, because I'm checking my mobile phone now. It has requirements that you have to follow before you can access your Outlook and your Teams. So that is the reason why we do not use um, mobile device access. Before Intune, we use mobile device access in Exchange Admin Portal to create rules and policies. So you can create different rules. So as you can see, I remember earlier I mentioned that if Exchange Active Sync is disabled in Outlook Web Access or in any of your accounts, you won't be able to access Outlook your mailbox on your mobile device. Let me quickly show you guys what I mean by that. We go to the admin portal, and because you might be a bit confused. So if I come here and click on a mailbox, let me use this. I go into mail, then I click on manage mail email apps. If if you look at this, if I uncheck this user can never access Outlook on the web. If I uncheck this user might not be able to access their mailbox on Outlook client. Also, if I uncheck this and this and this, you won't be able to access Outlook on your mobile device. So sometimes when user raise ticket or request that I'm unable to access my emails on my mobile phone, the first thing you need to check your troubleshooting step is to come and check if this is enabled for the user. Guys, are you following? I am also troubleshooting. So it is beyond just explaining the admin portal. I'm also telling you scenarios of users coming to meet you. I can access my mailbox on my mobile phone. Oh, you ask, are you able to access on Outlook client? Yes. Come and check these apps. If you are certain that it is your users in your organization are allowed to access their Outlook on their mobile phone and on the web, you check if any of this is disabled. For mobile, if this is disabled, user will be getting error. So you need to check all of this. So you can see there are different ways you need to troubleshoot. Same way I am currently on M365 Admin Center, and I can still assign give full access to a mailbox from here. In fact, I can also convert mailbox to shared mailbox from here. So guys, so you don't need to be confused. Sometimes things you can do in your estate admin center, you can do it in some other aspect areas or some other admin centers in your M365 environment. In fact, you can also manage users and assign users, assign license to user in what we call Entra ID. That is, Entra ID is formerly known as Azure Active Directory. So Microsoft changed the name last year. We call it Entra ID. So guys, let's continue. So this is where you create rules, different rules. If you want only specific, there are some organization only iPhones are allowed. So you can create device family, see Samsung, all family. So if you only want to allow Samsung, different Samsung devices, specific Samsung devices, you can allow access or you can quarantine. If you don't want anyhow Android device to have access, and you can you see Infinix and all of that, this is where you create device access rules. So there are organizations that only the users, in fact, in the moment they employ that user, they are giving them a Samsung PC and a Samsung device. Some organization, they give them a Surface PC and they also look for a Microsoft device. Sometimes they use this Nokia. There's this Microsoft, this Nokia that they do add to it. So, and I think Microsoft have their mobile device now. So they give them, there are some, in fact, the user I onboarded last week, the moment the organization employed the user requested for a specific type of Mac, a specific type of Mac pad, that is iPad, a specific type. In fact, we purchased iPhone 17 for the user. The organization is employing the user as content creator. So everything that user will be purchased for that user has to do with Apple. Even the extra monitor that we try to send to reduce costs and FedEx delivered, the user sent it back and said it has to be a Mac monitor. So over there, their employee comes with condition. I'm just telling you guys. Yeah, in fact, they will give you a refurbished PC that after 2 months, it will be dragging and you'll be like, oh, this PC is slow. You have to be deleting files. So anyway, that is by the way. So these are what you can create. Sometimes when users say, I used to access my mailbox, but now I can't access, you come here and check if the device is quarantined, and then you release the device from here. Also, you can create mobile device mailbox policy. So the default is, this is the default policy. Allow device that don't fully support this policy to sync. So you look at the security, require a mobile device mailbox password. So a different password that is different from your own account mailbox that you use. If you want that to be created, this is where you do all of that. You can create a condition if you don't a specific the number of signing failure. So innately, and that is why I mentioned earlier that we don't really do this here anymore, because most organizations are integrating Intune into their system, and Intune covers both your you can use Intune to do what we call autopilot configuration, onboarding on PC. It automatically install application and their device policy that must be adhered to before you can completely onboard the devices. So guys, So that is the reason why this is kind of obsolete. We do not use this anymore. But before now, like 4 or 5 years ago, we do all of this. That when maybe you lost your phone and they are trying to access your mailbox, depending on the attempt, it automatically wipe the mailbox from that the application and everything from that device. So now it has been moved to Intune. Intune is a very I keep repeating Intune is a very important um, technology now in the onboarding space and security space in Microsoft in organization now. We hear MDM, Microsoft mobile device management. Intune is a mobile device management application. So it covers a lot: security, deployment. Yes, Intune is being used for deployment. I don't want to go into that. So I'm just giving you tips in case you come across that in any interview. You should be able to remember all of this. So you can create different reports, inbound reports. Maybe your organization is being flagged for as spam sender. You come and analyze outbound reports, inbound reports, non-deliverable details. This is just a plus. All of these also comes under each of what we've discussed. Under message trace, there's also under message trace report and all of that, non-accepted domain report, non-deliverable details report, different error code. You can create report for all of these. Top domain Mailflow. This also is available in your M365 admin portal. So guys, this is pretty much straightforward. You can just read up on them. It's not your day-to-day or daily thing. So if you are bored in your tenant, you can just see what. So yeah, you can get also all of this. You can use PowerShell if you are good with Shell to get all of this report. So for instance, if you see you want to confirm who is setting up or to forward, we have bad actors among our employees. You understand? In as much we are persons of integrity, we have people that don't have integrity. They take company resources and then they create auto forward rule in their mailbox so that every emails that they receive or they send, it automatically forward to their external mailbox. That is why you see organization ensuring that users cannot do forwarding or users cannot create auto forwarding on their account. So I'm just giving you instance of that. So you need to, if you want to get report, whoever has created, so monitor for potential data leaks as I explained earlier. So monitor for potential data leaks when people in your organization automatically forward email messages to an external domain. So remember when we were talking about transport rule, where you want to ensure that users do not create any auto forwarding. See the explanation even before I open it. So this is where you come to monitor. And that is where some people say, "Oh, I don't know what I do. I got an email from HR that disciplinary actions, blah, blah, blah." This is where sometimes leaks are being monitored. So as an IT person, integrity is also important for you, so that you can actually be able to guide others also. So guys, you can read up on this exchange transport rule report. So in case you have a lot of rules in your organization, you can also create report to know maybe you have multiple persons working as IT admin and you just want to maybe you are the head of the IT department. You deal with a lot of reporting. You deal with a lot of reporting, so you might need to check all of this. So you can also generate migration report. Maybe you are doing large number of migration and you want to generate report, batch reports. If anyone is successful, this is where you create report for that, or you get report. This when you start your migration, automatically report are sent to this dashboard. So here you can monitor your migration progress. So this is showing report on if your users are using Outlook clients, then or the Outlook for Windows, you can come here to get the report just to understand, and then you get identity and all of that. So this reporting is just for you to be able to create good policy and put things in place, look at what is favorable to your organization, and then make strategic decisions. Reporting generally helps you make strategic decisions. Also, this is insight, maybe insight trends that Microsoft give. So you're up to date. If there's any insight, if there's any reporting, so this is where you check, and then if it's something you want to implement, you can go ahead and implement that. So all of this is really an automated thing, not something you put in place on your end. Now, this is an interesting topic: public folders. Um, let me open an article. In if you get this is a disclaimer anyway. If you are working as a technical support engineer for any Microsoft, um, any Microsoft partner, any Microsoft partner, or Microsoft themselves, whether you are Muslim or Christian, one of the things you should pray against, or it should be praying. This is jokes anyway. And one of the things you should, if you wake up in the morning and you are going to work, or you are working remotely and you want to pray against the spirits of public folder. I'm not saying that you won't be able to resolve it. Just pray against chronic issue with public folder. I won't say more than that. So that is why organizations are now using what we call M365 groups, or creating shared mailboxes sometimes. However, and again, SharePoint is also taking the role of public folder, SharePoint and OneDrive. I'm sure when you go forward in this class, you'll be talking about SharePoint and OneDrive. But I'm saying it, or if you are working as Exchange Online expert, SME, IT support engineer, Microsoft 365 support engineer, one of the things you pray against is public folder, especially in an hybrid environment where Exchange Online cannot access on-prem public folder, or where on-prem cannot access Exchange Online public folder, or in a situation whereby your organization is running on what we call ADFS, federated environment. My brother and my sister, my daddy and my mommy, you are going to sweat under AC. It is not cause, but it is what it is. You will sweat. Public folder in hybrid environment. So the public folders are designed for shared access, and provide an easy and effective way to collect, organize, and share information with other people in your work group and organization. So because of the complex the complex form of public folder, that is why people are shifting, majorly people are shifting into using OneDrive, and OneDrive have a lot of beautiful features, and also SharePoint. So which you can also give access to who access document in your SharePoint site, and SharePoint also allow you to be something like a website. So it is quite interesting. So public folder is also the same function, but now this is public folder functionality of is basically sharing information among certain group of users. So you create a public folder, then you create public folder mailbox. Like I said, you can also manage this using PowerShell. New public folder. Once you create the folder, then you create a mailbox. You have to create a folder. Then in that folder, you create a mailbox. So just need public folder, then create a mailbox set. You can create a mailbox, maybe sales, sales. You can create a mailbox for marketing. Create a mailbox for um, branding. Whatever it is for collaboration. For collaboration. So um, when users want to access it, depending on the users you've given access to, the folder sometimes shows under here, public folder. Once it is created, it might show under group, or it shows under here, it show the name if you are part of the public folder. So let me see if I can give myself permission to delegate. Oh, so mailbox item under, see, it shows up under group. Um, let me see if this user created a mailbox test. So it also has hierarchy, primary hierarchy. So can you see public folder mailbox? So it is basically for a group of people for collaboration and all of that. So document sharing, collaboration, data archiving. So, however, we have if you want to use I, the reason why we don't really recommend public folder for archiving, because of the issues, the complexity of making use of public folder. So we also have in place archiving that can be enabled for users, but that will require license. Some license like E3 automatically allow you to do archive mailbox. However, there are some licenses that you might need to purchase a standalone archive mailbox. So guys, please read up on this. Organization are not really making use of public folder, but for your exams is important you actually read up on this. Uh, Joseph, why you saying God abeg o? Is it looking complex? Joseph, is it looking complex? Trust me, most organizations are not really using public folders anymore. They are beautiful technology now for collaboration, file sharing, and all of that. But we just need to discuss this so that you will know the function. You will know the function of public folder. So as you can see, it's just public folder are designed for shared assets and provide an effective way to collect, organize, and share information. You can do that with a shared mailbox. You can do that with SharePoint. You can do that with OneDrive. You can do that with OneDrive. But my own is, I'm just telling you from my own experience, you do not want to encounter public folder issue. That is just it. That is when you now be looking into the primary hierarchy mailbox, the secondary hierarchy mailbox, who have access to what. You have to run some PowerShell to investigate further. This is not to scare you. This is an everyday experience that you come in contact with, and it will allow you to do a lot of research, but you will learn a lot also. So which we might not cover in this in the classes that you are currently in, but a self-research and all of that is important. So you can see that the mailbox come in form of a mailbox size like you have in your Outlook. You give it a name and then look at the mailbox size, 99 gig and all of that. So you can't, please, you have to create a public folder before creating a public folder mailbox. Let me see. See, then let me see. Public folder, IP3, public folder. See, mail. So this is where you create the folder. It will have a part. Okay, a good example, another good example of public folder is what we also call, guys, network drive. Have you come across network drive where, um, once you set up your PC, there's this drive that it will have a backward slash and it will tell you, maybe the server name slash the folder slash the document you need to have access to as an employee. This is almost similar. But public folder also has like email address that external users can email, and every member of the whoever have access to the public folder can access those email. So you can see this function, if it's just for the purpose of emails, shared mailbox is enough to substitute for this. If it's for the purpose of files, OneDrive and SharePoint is enough to substitute for this. So I'm just trying to explain to you why you might not come across it in some organization. Personally, the organization I work at, I've been there for 3 years. We do not, I'm not even have time or business with anything that has to do with public folder. So I'm just giving you like a real life scenario, you understand? But it is good for you to understand, read up this article, understand how it works, reproduce this, and see what this is all about. So yes, Felix, since you can see root permission, these are is similar to the root permission you give on that network drive that is being mapped to your computer, or to your computer, and the permission that is given to you for you to have access to any, it comes from directory, from directory, then the folder, then folder to the files and all of that. So you can see here it's saying I mentioned earlier that you manage, for easy management, you have to have at least a intermediate or intermediary skill of PowerShell. So that is why you do a lot of PowerShelling when or a lot of scripting when you are trying to investigate issue with public folder. I'm sure our guy here of Rafia will actually let you know. And those days in Tech Expert, we always pray against issue with public folder, especially for me, very large organization. But thanks to the advancement of OneDrive and SharePoint site or SharePoint. So organization sharing. This is another. This has to do with calendaring, and is organization sharing too is between federated exchange organizations. When federated, I mentioned something that has to do with ADFS. ADFS is what we call federated environment. Federated, this is where you want an organization A want to share their calendar information with organization B. This is where you can do organization relationship. You come here, do the domain name and everything, and ensure you set it up with relationship name. So let's check this. So this is where you share the FreeBusy information. FreeBusy is when I come to my calendar, this is what we mean by FreeBusy. This interface in a environment where you see, oh, this person is busy, this person is free. Once it's blank or blue, this person is busy. Once it's red, this person is busy. Once it's blue, this person is free. So if an organization wants to share all their user free busy information with a different organization, this is where you come to do organization sharing. So you can see domain sharing. If you look at this, time, subject, location, and everyone, we see general settings, calendar sharing, application URL. This one will be automated. Look at the domain name, newsgraduate.com.ng, newsgraduate.onmicrosoft.com. So automatically, people in this organization, once people in my organization, the one I'm showing you, techtired.onmicrosoft.com, can actually, if their information, can see the calendar information of newsgraduate.com. Also, we can have individual sharing. So once you are talking about, oh, I can't see the full busy information of blah, 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 you come here and check, sharing with everyone and all of that. If you want to specify domain, sharing, then if you want just specific domain, you put in the domain and all of that, but we won't be doing this. So I can just close this. So I won't alter any function. So remember, when you come, for you to troubleshoot anything that has to do with FreeBusy between two organizations, or you want to set it up for between two organizations, you come into organization in your Exchange admin portal and then come and do the setup. So like I've shown you guys, FreeBusy showing calendar information of individuals, where I can view your calendar information, I can view my calendar information, or where company A can view company B's calendar information, vice versa. So this is where you come and manage the relationship and the setup between two organizations. In simple word or simple sentence, calendar information for organization B to organization A, vice versa. What do we call calendar information? FreeBusy information. When a user is free or when a user is having a meeting, FreeBusy. And then the details of the calendar invite or event or whatever it is. Please, you might want to read more on that. So ADFS is when you can, I do not want to go into that because we'll be discussing that under identity, Active Directory, all the ADFS, um, Azure Directory Domain Services, Active Directory, and all of that. So hopefully you get to that part. But that if you have interest in going into cloud infrastructure engineer, cloud cloud computing specialist, cloud specialist, Azure um, solution architect, um, infrastructure engineer, infrastructure system engineer, system administrator, you might need to understand different environment. If the environment is a federated environment, if the environment is on Active Directory, that is on-prem, if it's an hybrid combination of Entra ID, that is Azure Active Directory, and Active Directory. Maybe you have to sync, you create users on-prem, you sync them to Azure Active Directory before assigning license and all of that. I digress. I'm just letting you know what a federated environment could be and different type of environment. So let's go back to our class. So we are coming to the end of the class. So settings, if these are just like the normal settings you have, Mailflow settings, if you want to make changes to your Mailflow and all of that, this is where you check. You want to turn off SMTP auth protocol. You want to turn off addressing plus addressing for your organization. Turn on sending from aliases. These aliases mean I create a user. Okay, let me show you guys that. Let's go back to F-Young and I come to account. You can see this username and address. If I come into just see aliases, I can create a different address for this user and assign a different domain. Let me say Abba add save changes. So now I can come here, two things. I can come here to make this, maybe the user is being promoted, you are under a group and you move this user from tech tired to um, wisdom wisdom academy to go and lead a team in there, and you want the user to receiving emails in tech tired. However, you want the email address to change. You want the email address to change. You want the email address to change for this user, and you want the user to keep receiving email from the previous email address. All you need to do is to change this into primary. Or you want the user to retain this user address, email address as primary. Also, you want this user to be able to send communication with Wisdom or Academy. So this is where, let's go back. You make that change. So turn on sending from alias. So if I turn this on, when the user log into their account, like in Outlook, sorry that I'm taking you guys this way, and try to draft a new email. Like in here, because of I don't have two accounts, I can select the from. There will be an option that will say select from. I can select from here, then select the email I want to send from. There will be an option that will say from, then it will show two of the email. I will be able to select one. So this is where you make that settings, and then you can decide to say reply or minimum number of recipients you can send to, minimum number of reply or block duration, and all of that. You can make those changes here, but we won't be touching any of this. So let me disable this. So also you might, an assignment, before now, Microsoft used to send from legacy TLS clients. So where users can, where users can actually use just their password to authenticate. Now, due to security, we do not use TLS, legacy TLS anymore. So you might come when you are trying to set up connectors, or you want to set up direct send. That is where you might need legacy TLS, legacy authentication, which is also TLS. We have different type of transport layer services. We have currently we are on 2.0. Before we used to have 1.2, 1.1, 1.0. Then Microsoft has moved to 2.0 or 3.0 TLS. You can do self-study on that. Transport TLS means transport layer services. Transport layer services. So yeah, if you want to do a like an hybrid configuration, maybe you want to do an on-prem environment, you come to hybrid setup, you click on configure, it will guide you on, see, you would download this, then it will guide you to safely set up your hybrid environment. That hybrid means, I've explained this over and over again, hybrid means on-prem and you want to have on-prem and you want to have cloud. So remember, if you are running on hybrid, you manage your hybrid infrastructure. So the day your server crashed and you do not have, so that is where, let me just chip in this. People that runs on hybrid environment have what we call VMware. VMware, so when they will have a physical server, they will also have a VM that they are backing up to that takes a snapshot. So different type of we have what we call EXSI. We have what we call ILO. ILO is for, I think ILO is for HP. EXXI is for EXXI is for Dell. So you might need to check all of that. Please give me a minute, please. I have a quick call. Sorry, I'm on a call.
Oh, it's on a call. It's on a call.
Sorry about that. It was a call from my boss. He wanted to log in early. That so just apologies for the few minute delay or few seconds. That is for all of this troubleshooting. The only troubleshooting which we see is setting over settings. Maybe a lot of users is saying that we can't access our mailbox on the web. However, please do not come here and reset settings. So as a technical person, the first place that should be your go-to person when multiple users are having an issue in your organization, should this, let me take you there. Let me go back to the dashboard. Let me close this. This place should be your health, service health or message center. This should be your go-to as an administrator or as a technical person. You do not just jump on any issue. For instance, lately, there was an escalation to me at work. I was off, and then the junior technical person, an organization, a very big organization that we manage, they sent an email. See, all of us, all my users are unable to join a global meeting. I'm trying to give you a practical scenario. My users are unable to join a global meeting. That is the email. As a technical person, the first thing that you should pick out of it, it is affecting multiple users. So it will save you time. Now saying that, can I connect to one of the users to troubleshoot? So if it's affecting multiple users, the first thing you need to go is go to that tenant and go to the message center if there is any update regarding Teams. So if you look at here, if that junior technical engineer has actually checked this, there won't be an escalation, and maybe you'll have gotten a bonus for promptly addressing the CFO issue. There was a downtime with Microsoft Teams where if you create a meeting invite, it cut off the link to join the meeting. The same link that our Oga Gofia sent to us to join this meeting, for those users, it cut off. So when you click on the meeting, you go to a different web page entirely. So guys, when you are troubleshooting, I'm giving from my own experience. Anything you ask, I have 4 rules when you want to troubleshoot. Depending on the message, anytime you see multiple users, please treat it as P1. We have different type of priority, P1, P2, P3. P1 is high, P2 medium, P3 low. P1 falls under VIPs of organizations and multiple users. VIP of organizations and multiple users. 1. P2 is also, okay, we have organization program. So we have the CEO, the owners, the executive, the CMOs. Then the P2 could be the POCs, the group leads, the managers, and then the P3 is normal users that if they are not working, it's not affecting the company. But it is still considered priority. But their level in my organization, for P1, you have a minimum of 5 minutes to reach out to the person or to start working on it. For P2, you have between 15 to 30 minutes for your first email. For P3, in fact, you have 32 hours. But you have 30 minutes to acknowledge, or 2 hours window, SLA window to acknowledge the person. Are you guys following? So we are talking and discussing troubleshooting now. So if you are below the supply chain, this is why you only get frustrated when IT is not responding to you. I'm just saying, if you have experienced this, they do not. Let me put myself in your IT shoes. We do not mean to disrespect you. We do not mean to make you feel like you are nobody in the organization. Power pass power. In fact, in the middle of helping you, if one of them reach out to me, what I'll tell you that sorry, I'll reach out to you. I need to jump on another call. Do you understand? So scenarios like this will be presented to you in this career path. You have to use your brain. If not, even if you are IT and you have admin right to a lot of resources, somebody can write HR to sack you. So whenever that person raises issues, in fact, some guy will not, like, thank you, Aaron. Some guy will not raise ticket. They will call your Oga that has no business in resolving the issue. Okay, let me give you a good example. Do you think Elumelu, I can't remember the current CEO, I used to remember the old one when I was there. Do you think Elumelu, he will call the person that will resolve it, which is the person in IT support? No. You know who he will call? He will call the executive director for information technology. And then the executive director will not even call you that will resolve the issue, because let's say he's having issue with the people that manage the mailboxes in banks. They call them messaging and collaboration team. He will not even, the ED will not call. The ED will call the regional head IT. The regional head will call the managing director of head office IT. Mind you, all of this, there is no email trail. Before email, that one will now send email and say, drop whatever you are doing. In fact, it will send 4 people to attend to the issue. And it could be just small thing. Maybe Outlook is not opening. Maybe the profile got corrupt. So I'm just trying to tell you that even in this our line of job, there is hierarchy. There is scale up. There is hierarchy. Let me just put it that way. I don't want to use another word. So there's urgency in attending to issues. So this is just a plus to our training. So when multiple users are complaining about Outlook, I will tell you anything that if it's affecting SharePoint, if it's affecting the whole of the M365 suite, if it's affecting Microsoft Teams and all of that, or affecting Microsoft apps, you come here, you check, immediately you find it here, you just draft an email that this is a known issue. Microsoft is on top of it. I'm going to update you shortly. And if it's specific to one user, because you have the same credentials, you can quickly reproduce it on your end. It is important for you to solve up your problem. Always learn to reproduce. Quickly reproduce the same scenario on your end and see if you're not having the same issue. You can now go to the PC and create a new profile. You can clear cache, clear temporary files, and create in difficult situations. Who change what? For you to know who change what. And these logs are also a security and compliance portal. And you can also do all this log on resource booking and all of that, and do log on calendar logs and all of that. So these are logs. Logs are also used to help you troubleshoot and investigate any concern regarding any of this. What are the other features? See, the other features that we migrated, I'm very much correct. Retention policy has gone to purview. Retention tags have gone to purview. Connection filter has gone to security and compliance. So connection filter is where you want to mark an IP, block an IP, mark an IP as safe sender, and spam filter is marking users as spam sender, blocking them from your organization. Quarantine is to check emails that went into your quarantine folder, and DKIM is to ensure that you set up a good a net layer of protection for your domain by setting up DKIM, where you get the records and publish it in your DNS registrar. Then you check all of these. So save attachments, save links, and all of that. So guys, do you have any question? Thank you so much. It has been a lovely 3 session with you guys, and I hope you guys understand this. Is very interesting. It's very lovely. Choosing this career path. One of the things I also want to encourage you: do not get tired when you start writing your exams. Learn your Microsoft Learn. Do everything you need to do. So also, where can I get more troubleshooting materials, exercise on M365 Learn? So there are articles. So you can see that all I need to type as the technical person, when you have anything to do with Exchange, with Microsoft, you need to type and just look at the link before you click. Sometimes there are some links that will make you to go and do rubbish. In fact, my organization, we do not take anything from Reddit. You do not take any. There are some scripts that will just ruin your environment. So you focus on legit environment to get your information. So, and when you are troubleshooting, one of the things that will make you troubleshoot easily, guys, is to who is affected, what happened, how, when, and where. Who is affected, what happened, how it happened, where it happened, and when it happened. when you follow these 5 rules, you will be able to isolate and resolve your easy quickly. Ah, my company do not actually take M3 role. I work with R3 Services. Is a managed service provider company. So for me, that is why I'm able to discuss about Google, about every other technology, because I'm a technical tier 2. So I manage servers, I manage different technologies that comes my way depending on the organization. So MSP, what they actually do is they provide IT services for different organizations. So we manage their switches, we manage their firewalls, we manage, even if they are using technology that we are not familiar with, is our function to know those technology and assist users, um, users in making use of those technologies. For instance, yesterday, I spent 7 hours on one technology. The name of the technology is, I just got to know about the technology, but because of I'm tier 2, I have to take it up and do the needful. So the name of the technology is CCH PFX engagement. Is accountants and tax people that use it in USA. So, and it is integrated with SQL Server. So I needed to first understand how it works. And what do we really want to do yesterday? We wanted to update it to the latest version. The company did not update the software for the past 4 years. So you can see why praying is important. Maybe I did not pray very well, why it came to me yesterday. So, but I ended up spending 7 hours. I work with their tier 2, the people that design it. Then I have to see, understand how it is being integrated with SQL, how to move some files, to connect to the network. So MS, what you are doing currently, the section you are doing, apart from my classes, every other classes covers MS 900. MS 900 is basically security, compliance, M365 Admin portal, everything about that, administration and all of this. So you are currently in the class. So guys, another thing I will use to encourage you before I leave today is, do not get tired of applying. I have a lot of rejection emails than the one that gives me a job. Even as of today, there was a time I was doing 3. Now that I'm doing 2, I keep applying. Don't get tired. Open a profile with Indeed.uk for remote. Don't get tired of uploading articles in LinkedIn, following HR. Even now that some people have saturated the HR, the LinkedIn portal, but some people are still getting jobs via LinkedIn. Some people will come here and say they are offering job. It's a lie. They are not offering any job. They just want you to connect and follow them or follow the organization and have visibility. So that is individual bad eggs. You understand that? But in all of that, never get tired of applying. There was a time that all my goal that I placed beside my wall here is apply for 40 jobs a day. So the job I got, I applied. Imagine getting a job in 2024 and then you applied for that job 2021 and they reach out to me themselves. So I'm just telling you. So just keep applying, do not get tired, and do not get tired of upskilling. Myself, aside having certification in Microsoft, I have certification in CompTIA. It's expensive, but we do it regardless. I have IT V4. So these certifications are important, and I keep renewing and trying to go ahead in all of that. So guys, thank you so much. Do not get tired. It has been an interesting section. You can keep going, can keep pushing. This journey is an interesting one. Thank you for your time, and this is also thanking Ofia for giving me the chance to impart knowledge. Thank you so much. Trust me, the class you are getting for free, I'm telling you, people pay a lot of money, like in dollars, for a 1-day training. So please take advantage and do not take it for granted. Thank you guys. Do enjoy the remainder of your section, and thank you for listening, and thank you for paying attention. Bye bye.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, boss.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I think
you.
I think that was a wonderful one from him. I did say I was honored to have him come train you guys. Like I said, he was my trainer in tech experts, and for majority of us, we all started from tech experts, if you know, and yeah, do well to connect with him on LinkedIn. I think he had shared his LinkedIn profile URL earlier before now. Certifications are very important. If you're just starting out, don't get tired. You might not understand now, but with time, it will all fall in place, right? And if you're confused, please ask questions. Not everyone here is an entry level. We have experienced IT specialists here. We have newbies here. So we all keep learning and we keep growing. So without taking much of your time, we're going to meet same time next week, Tuesday. Classes is still on by 10 a.m. Same meeting link. Okay, you want me to share his LinkedIn profile? Okay, I'm going to share that now. Just give me a minute. Let me quickly get that for you. Um,
Shared already. Shared
okay,
already.
someone has shared that already. Thank you, Harun. So yes, that's him. And one beautiful thing with Microsoft technologies or supporting Microsoft technologies is you don't necessarily have to work on site. We have remote options. We have the hybrid option. We have the, yeah, either ways, you can be in Nigeria and be working for those US companies or the UK companies or companies abroad. So it all depends on how experienced you are. So this is not the 1 month or few weeks training and you become experienced. No, it takes real time studying, learning, certifications, on the job experience. So you have to start from somewhere. That's it. And I always encourage that if you're in Lagos, or not necessarily Lagos, but I think the Lagos residents have more advantage. It says that you have the we call it, I'll see it as a training hub. We do say that that's the tech knowledge. It used to be tech experts before, but it's now called tech knowledge. That's for those that are just starting out. That's a good place to start out to get hands-on M365 work experience. So that's it about that. You can connect with him. Someone is asking, how can we sign up to start MS 900? So if you want to start with the learning part for MS 900, I did say you should have your Microsoft Learn profile. If you've not created one, create one. It's very simple. Just search for Microsoft Learn, and by the right-hand side, you click on Sign In. While you're signing in, take note, do not sign in with the work or school account. That's the testing out account we created for you. No, sign in with your personal account. Sign in with your personal account. I think someone did that earlier. He already has a profile. Just sign in with your account. And if it's not already registered as a Microsoft Learn profile, it would ask you, it would tell you that you should create one, that your personal account, either Gmail or Outlook.com, does not exist. So you create one and you get started from there. So let me share my screen quickly to show you the MS 900 fundamentals certification. This is Micheal. So just open a browser page and type MS 900. So straight off, it takes you to Microsoft Learn. You can see this is your Microsoft 365 certified fundamental. So our training basically focuses on MS 365. You also have the AZ 900, which is the Azure fundamentals. You have SC 900, which is the security and compliance fundamentals. But this training focuses basically on M365, right? And I saw someone asking, what's the difference between Microsoft 365 Admin Center and the Exchange Admin Center? So Microsoft 365 Admin Center is the main dashboard right, for your M365 tenant. That's the main dashboard. That's where every other Microsoft 365 service admin center sits on, right? So within your M365 admin center, you have other admin centers. Exchange admin center is just one of the several other admin centers that we have. I hope that clarifies your question. So this is M365 Certified Fundamentals. MS900 is the exam code. Is 900 for Azure Fundamentals, S900 for Security and Compliance Fundamentals exam. So here, for this particular certification exam, we have you would see that this is Microsoft Learn, and let me say you want to write this exam. You'd have 4 modules to cover. That's cloud computing. I think we've covered that. You have Microsoft 365 and services. We've got some of the apps. We're currently looking at some of the one of the services, which is Microsoft Exchange Online. Then you have the part of describing the M365 security and compliance. And the last one is the pricing, licenses, and support. We've also covered that I think the first 2 classes of this session. So this is it about your MS900, your certification part. If you like to, you just start off from here. And just take note that for this particular certification, it would retire March 31st, 2026. In other words, you'll not be able to renew renew this certification or write this certification. That's anytime after March 31st, 2026. But I think one of the essence of writing this exam is so you're able to gain, it's more or less an entry-level certification, because we have fundamentals, we have associates, and we have experts. So if you're just starting off with M365, it's just too important that you write this exam even before it retires. It's a good one. Before now, we used to have free vouchers and or 50% vouchers that you can use when you attend the virtual training, but it's currently not available. So if you have any questions around your certification exams, do well to sign into Microsoft Learn. Just click sign in and you get started from there.
Hello, ma.
Yeah. I can hear you.
So presently, ma, so we pay $9.
You need to do what?
I say presently we need to pay $99 because presently I'm on the page, so we need to pay $99 to be able to pay the exam.
Yeah, so that's $99 is for US residents. You see United States, so you need to pick your own location, which is Nigeria. Just select Nigeria, and you have the $50 cost to write this exam. You can either take this exam from home if you have a stable internet connection, or you go to a test center. And just before you write your exam, you can take the practice assessment after you must have gone through all of these modules. We also have study materials that you can use to practice before your exam, just to have real time, or have the demo session here with different case scenarios of the kind of questions you'll be asked in the exam, right? So yes, for Nigerians, it's $50 for Nigerians. So right here, you have a certification poster. This actually shows you the different certification parts. If you can still see my screen, I did say we have the fundamentals part. You have the associate and the expert. Here you have, for fundamentals, you'd see Azure. You see here, we fall under, M365 falls under the business solutions part. Then you have the security part. So depending on the one you to go for. So once you're done with your fundamentals, we usually write the associate exams. You notice that the associate exams, when you write exams, you see people that share their wins after their exams that they pass. You see 2-star, 1-star, 3-star. So 1-star usually for fundamentals, 2-star for associate, and the 3-star for expert level. If you're going through the cloud part, which is the Azure side, you have your Azure fundamentals is at 900. After that, we usually take the AZ104, then proceed to take either AZ500 or AZ700. So if you have your Microsoft Learn profile, just go through these parts from your end. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your question. So that brings us to the end of today's class. So can one choose? Yes, you can choose to specialize in different aspects. You don't necessarily have to. We have instances. Take, for example, you can be, if you don't want to be a full-time Microsoft 365 administrator, you can choose to be just a SharePoint admin or a Teams admin or an Exchange admin, or better still, be an identity and access administrator or a security expert or a purview expert. Like, we have lots. You just decide which one you want to specialize in. If you want to go fully into cloud, that means you're being a cloud solutions architect. That's also fine, right? So as you keep going, you have that option to decide which of these you would like to specialize in. Then that's where you become either a subject matter expert or a team lead, right? Or you're taking up a senior role with time. So that's it. Simeon or Simon, you can speak. What's your question?
Thank you very much, ma'am. I want to
Okay.
please check it out. Find a role, maybe an entry role or a technical knowledge, or there's another organization you maybe a particular view, or even if it's a volunteering role, because I'm having someone where you work, and actual salary is very small and he's already working in a very good organization. But what always maybe
Your
I don't know.
voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Your
Okay,
voice is breaking.
is it better now?
Yes, it's better.
Yeah, I'm asking that, is it only tech experts one can say an entry role to switch as an M365 administrator, or one can see another organization, even if it is a voluntary job that one can do part time to have hands-on experience on.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the only organization. As at last quarter of last year, I think we had the 3 months mentorship program where the mentees had the opportunity of getting a graduate internship roles, right? So aside from tech, most MSPs would like to take you in as a graduate intern. So you're still able to go through in-house training, right? In-house training, and you're able to better understand the kind of technologies that these organizations offer their customers. So it's two ways. It's either you're starting off as a graduate intern, you apply for such programs, or you start off as entry level. So I think sometime last week, I had shared the link of all the Microsoft partner companies that you could likely work with. You just need to search the net, maybe the one that is closest to your area, or check their sites for open positions and apply, right? Another thing is, in most cases, you won't see people saying they are recruiting for M365. That's because Microsoft 365 is just one part of the IT infrastructure, IT technology, or how do I put it? IT service. M365 is just one. So most times, either you're starting off as a sysadmin, or the reason why M365 is more like a standalone role or position is because we have these Microsoft partners that we work for AWS is completely different. AWS is Amazon Web Services. It's outside of Microsoft. So M365 is a core Microsoft technology that we support. So it's either you're working for a Microsoft partner or you're working for IT companies, MSPs or CSPs within Lagos. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's not only tech experts that recruits entry level. We have other MSPs. If you need the link to that list of other organizations that you can reach out to, I could share that with you again on the WhatsApp group. So that's it for today. Thank you all for joining and see you in class next week, Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. You're all
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Have a good
Sure.
day.
And you too. And you too. So the next class is on Tuesday, not Thursday. Tuesday by 10 a.m. Tuesday.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Bye,
you
ma'am.
so much.
You're welcome.